What's up, you filthy casuals? Welcome to the Casual Shenanigans Gaming Podcast, a podcast all about everything PC gaming related. I'm one of your hosts, JERMgaming, and I'm joined tonight by Joel.
Hey guys.
Don't have a catchphrase for you, I keep wanting to come up with one. Dave, the not-so-evil Viking 13.
Mine's basically a rebranding attempt, not really a catchphrase. Desperate rebranding.
We could have something on there like Defender of Liberty, and you could just wave a gun at the camera. Hey!
We can't even see the gun in your shot tonight.
Yeah, dude, my screen is so tall above me right now. It's amazing.
You'll have to tell us about that.
It's theater mode.
And we are also joined by James, who's wearing a t-shirt, which is a pretty rare occurrence, isn't it, James?
Ooh, meat math.
Sweet. But you don't wear t-shirts much, do you?
Usually I'm getting off work and coming right to the podcast. So
seriously? You have to work late usually?
No, actually I'm just dealing with life
Okay.
stuff, and like that's why like 1 minute before I'm like, I'm here.
He's kicking his kids out the door. Get back in your room. I told you to sleep.
Not only is it a work shirt, but it's been the same work shirt all week. Just sleeping in it.
If you sweated it enough, you don't have to starch it. It just gets stiff on its own. Since I can't smell. You guys already know that, but for the podcast listeners, I can technically smell. I just can't smell much. And it does always worry me. I'm like, gosh, I hope everything smelled like, because I don't wash my pants every day. You reuse pants for a couple days. They're still good. But I'm always worried. I'm like, I hope this is all good. Like, I shower on a regular basis. I groom myself. Hopefully this is acceptable. So small update since our last podcast 2 weeks ago. I ate all of those Cadbury creams, and I did not get sick from those. I felt fine from those. But a day and a half later, I did get sick with the flu, which apparently has reached epidemic proportions. Officially, we're at epidemic.
I could have got it from the eggs.
I don't think I got the flu from the eggs. And yeah, so I was sick for like a week, at least a week. So my voice is pretty much back, but if it starts cracking and like falling apart and I start hacking out of the frame, Dave will just take over for me, so everything's good.
Yeah, editing around all you guys who have been sick has been interesting, trying to get that DayZ episode out. James, I just looked through the soundtrack, and it's like, there's James, cough, stop.
I'm still here.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So how was everyone's Christmas? Should we start with that?
It's good stuff, actually. Yeah.
All right. What's yay, Joel?
Oh, well, I did have one of the best things ever happen. Not to me. Well, kind of. So,
Is anyone else intrigued?
Okay. So these jelly beans I meant to order like months ago for this game we were going to play at a friend's house.
Joel, who did you see get hurt?
Yeah.
That amused you.
Called Bean Boozled by Jelly Belly, right? It's a little board. It's a little game that you spin a little spinner and you pick up a Jelly Belly, and one could either be peach flavor or vomit flavor, and they look exactly identical, right? Well, my sister brought that to our Christmas party, and everyone kind of spun in like ate it. I had a rotten egg one, and it was nasty. Or no, sorry, moldy cheese. But at the end, there were still like two big handfuls left, and my older brother, I was like, how much did you eat all of this? He's like, I don't know. He's like, I probably wouldn't do it for anything. I was like, how about $10? He's like, no. $20? All right. And so my Christmas gift began. He was like, oh yeah, I got this. I just chucked in one handful.
Real quick,
Dude,
Joel, list some of the other flavors that were like mixed in the box.
Oh,
There's some worse
dirty
than
sock,
cheese.
dirty sock,
Yep.
dirty diaper.
Skunk,
How do you make
dog
something that
food.
tastes like a dirty diaper? Who focus tests that?
Oh,
No,
I have
it
some
does.
left. So that's your next challenge, Jeremiah.
Great. That'll be easy because I can't really taste much. I'll be like, tastes kind of like a jelly bean. Tastes kind of like a jelly bean. This
No,
one
there's
looks
like
like a jelly
you
bean.
don't
There's a
understand.
skunk flavor. There's a skunk flavor. There's booger, and it's really nasty. But anyways,
lawn clippings.
it took him 20 minutes to get through the first handful because you can't swallow it. It has the like consistency of vomit for the vomit, which was just mixed flavors. And I was like, Jerry, you have one more full handful to go through. He was outside just jumping around, just trying to hold it back from just straight vomiting out. It was so funny though. But he like at the end he's like, I get $20. It took him 45 minutes, the whole thing, to eat.
For 2 handfuls of jelly beans?
45 minutes. just because it was like one of those. It's like the texture you just can't swallow, you know. But it was really well worth the $20.
Yeah, your brother would get rid of like unneeded fingers and toes for $20. He'd be like, which one do I use the least? Yeah, this one.
Joel, was it John last night that tried the skunk one and like he bit into it and immediately started gagging? He's like, as soon as you break the shell, he's like it hits your sinuses, like it just goes up the back of your throat, like into your nose. He gags so bad.
Yeah, it's pretty awful.
It's disgusting, yeah.
So that's your next challenge, Jeremiah.
Yep.
I'm good with that. I'll do that. I'll try it. I'm an idiot. So we begin the podcast as we always do tonight, or every night, with an update on the potato masher. So some of you might have noticed I've put out like 2 videos in the past month on my YouTube channel. Dave certainly noticed because he won't shut up about it.
Is that changing anytime soon? I didn't hear about this.
Yeah. So part of the reason has been, real world stuff going on. Part of the reason has been I've been working on the potato masher, which turned out to be a little more work than I thought it was going to be, but that's okay. The final potato masher launch video is almost ready. It's going to be over 30 minutes long, and has involved at this point about 70 hours of work.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I didn't
totally
realize
worth it.
I didn't realize how long it normally takes to record game footage. That's a very laborious process. Trying to, and you'll see the footage isn't even synced up that well, but just trying to get generally the same footage on both platforms is a giant pain in the butt, especially when the games are stuff like Far Cry 4, which doesn't work right, and Assassin's Creed Unity, which doesn't work right, and Battlefield 4, which doesn't work right. I recorded Alien Isolation. It was the smoothest anything has ever been. That game looks gorgeous on both platforms. I was like, please, why can't we have more of this? But, yeah, I only have 2 more mini comparisons to make, and then it's ready to at least send to Dave and the rest of you guys if you want to look at it. But hopefully next week on the podcast we'll be talking about our findings, and I'm pretty excited. I've for anyone considering a PC build coming up soon, I think you should definitely hold off until you see the potato masher video or hear us talk about it. That's all I'm going to say about it for now. But yeah, hopefully next week we'll be talking about it on the podcast in depth, and then hopefully before then, maybe this weekend, the video will be going up for anyone who wants to spend 30 minutes watching through that entire sad story.
But Jeremiah, what is the potato masher that you speak of?
What is the potato masher?
Yeah.
The potato masher is a $350 PC purpose-built to compete against the PlayStation 4. Not because the PlayStation 4 is bad, but we think you can get an equal or superior gaming experience for $350. And not only that, we think it will be equal or superior 4 or 5 years down the road. And that's what the potato masher is about. Also,
boy, howdy, Mr. Jeremiah. That sounds swell.
Doesn't it? Also, it streams the podcast, so my creaking quad-core processor can be lightened up to do other things. That's why the podcast is now in 30 FPS. I don't know about on Twitch, but at least on YouTube, it's in 30 FPS. Yeah, that's another thing. I'm considering a CPU upgrade, but I don't know, Dave. I'll have to talk to you about that later. They're just so expensive, and the performance bump doesn't really seem to be there that much.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Cool, thanks, Dave.
Helpful advice.
Oh, back to commercial. Everyone, don't forget to use Colgate. Cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth.
Does it clean your...
Especially after jelly beans.
All right.
Oh, man.
So our next thing tonight is our main topic. We're going to be talking about 2014 and all the games that we loved and lost, and the games that touched our hearts and touched our sphincters, I guess. I don't.
There was a lot of clenching.
Mostly for Joel, but yeah, we're gonna be talking about the year in review. So actually, I think I'm gonna do this list kind of in reverse order because it'll be more fun. First, we're gonna talk about in each of our opinions, and that's the important thing. This is an opinion. This is not Casual Shenanigans Gaming officially says these games sucked and these games were awesome. In our opinions, we just want to talk about the year in review, because some
Unless
people say
we're getting paid to make a review, then it's our official
yeah,
opinion.
in which case you can send our $20 too.
But a lot of people in the industry and just fans of gaming in general say this has been one of the worst years of gaming in recent memory. So I don't know about that, but we are going to start with, in each of your opinions, what is the worst game, or what was the worst game launch in 2014? Like, what just crashed and burned hard?
H1Z1.
Too soon. I want to hear it from you guys first because
to launch 4 weeks after we heard about it, and then it's been what, like 9 months?
Early May. They pulled a Dean Hall and they said too much too soon.
Yeah, they did good. They waited like through a bunch of development, and they were like, we're ready to show our hand. And then, 9 months later, they still haven't quite shown that hand, but it's coming any day now.
I think though, Joel, I think you could probably answer this better. They only announced one like, hey, it's coming out in 4 weeks, and then it was like probably a month, and then one more like probably a month. And then around like early July, they just stopped talking about dates. Finally.
They said that we will not discuss.
Honestly, I don't remember any of it. I only remember just the 4 weeks. I don't remember any of the others, honestly.
I think around E3 they were saying like we're gonna announce a date.
They kept
like,
saying soon
Yeah,
it'll be
soon.
early access.
It's funny because it's the exact same like PR mistakes that DayZ made, like sequentially, like the amount of time in between them exactly the same.
Yeah, I mean, I think
talking.
it's what every early access game right now is doing. Is it's coming out?
Yeah.
It's coming out. So maybe we'll see that train go away soon.
There are plenty of great early access games that come out. They do a bunch of dev work to them, but the community plays them, then they release them. But you just don't really hear about them because they're not stealing everyone's money or being in early access for 2 years or a whole bunch of other stupid stuff.
Something about early access I was just thinking about yesterday. I feel like early access is actually, they have a better chance of getting more money in early access than after the game comes out. Because during early access, all you have is tons of ramp up of hype of the game. But once the game's out, it's kind of like, oh, the game's finished. You know what I mean? Even though they're going to have more updates to the game. But this, it's like, they're constantly kind of working on
Anything's possible.
It's kind of like, oh, right around the corner, it's going to be amazing. Yeah, I think people are going to start using that. I think people are using it now of just like to sell your game. Not even just for the early, like we need money, but like, hey, let's sell it now because we'll probably make more money in early access than we will if we just finish the game and release it.
I bet some AAA developers could benefit from using early access. Hey, we can bug test and get feedback on the crap that doesn't work.
Doesn't EA do that?
Not really. They had one beta and then we're like, okay, we're going to scrap most of this and go back to the drawing board. Or at least that's what they did with
but
Hardline.
all their games are really early access. You're getting access to the code before it's finished.
That's only been a couple of them. That's the thing is EA has put out a ton of really solid games they keep putting out that just aren't super popular and are fine. I think it's only Ubisoft this year that's just like tripped and stumbled like every single time. They just can't stop screwing up with unfinished crap. I think that's but anyway, so
speaking of Assassin's Creed Unity.
James, so is H1Z1 your official worst game of the year?
Well, it's not my worst game of the year. It's the worst launch.
Okay. Do you have a worst game of the year?
Not really. Not that I played. I mean, other than the stories of Assassin's Creed Unity kind of bombing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too, James. Like, I didn't actually play a lot of the big failures this year. I kind of, after Battlefield 4 last year, I was a lot more wary with my money this year. I think the only one that I actually played, and it was because Ultra Grunt sent us the code for free, was Watch Dogs, which had a horrific launch. And even now, going back like a month ago to record some 60 FPS footage, couldn't hit 60 FPS in Watch Dogs still. And like, I've beaten the game now.
What are your specs again?
Well, let me just dig into
the quick version. CPU, GPU.
That was the joke. 6-core hyper-threaded Intel CPU and a GTX 970 and 16 gigs of RAM. Like, there's no reason that Watch Dogs should run poorly, but it still does. And for me, the shame was that I beat the game, beat most of the side quests. I really enjoyed the game. I would rate it, like, outside of the technical and launch issues, like a solid 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed Watch Dogs. I think my total hours were like 70 or so hours in that game. But the whole time, it was like pulling teeth to get the game to work and to actually get to the enjoyable parts. With the crashes and the stuttering and the FPS issues and the poor texture issues.
And the driving.
It was a real shame.
The driving.
Well, I wouldn't say the driving was amazing, but once I got the hang of it, I came to appreciate it, I guess. It worked pretty well for the game. It's not Grand Theft Auto, but I don't think it was trying to be, so.
Right.
It was a bit weightier.
All right, Joel?
Mine was, unfortunately, I put Destiny because
Oh yeah, I forgot about Destiny.
I don't think. Yeah, I was gonna say. I think
so
James
far
agrees.
removed.
We had a category for which
As a
game
launch,
failed
I think
to
it
live up to
launched
the
fine.
hype.
I think it launched fine. I mean, like it worked fine the first whole
It
week.
worked great. All 2 hours of content.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, I played 20 hours
you
of it,
actually-
so I
did you
still
actually
enjoyed
beat
it.
it?
But I did beat
Me?
it. I beat the campaign, I guess, whatever.
No, I made it like halfway through, and I was
Oh,
like,
you didn't see the ending?
Well, see, the thing was, I kept playing the same mission over and over
Yeah.
again, except they kept calling it different things. So I was like, and then Grand Theft Auto 5 came out. I'm like, bye. It hit eBay immediately.
Joel, what was your face after seeing the
Well,
ending?
okay, I was sitting there going like, okay, like, sweet, going to the next mission. Wait, what? I was like, credits. I was like, what the crap? Yeah, it was. And okay, honestly, I was kind of tempted even to try the new DLC, but then I was like, wait, $20 for it's like 4 missions, which they're gonna be one mission that all in the same area. I'm like, come on, like if they honestly released like I don't know if the DLC had like 10 new missions and they were like maybe different worlds or something like that, I might jump in because I still love the mechanics of it and that was really fun. The story is so crappy, but yeah, it was like it launched well, but man. That game just had nothing to it, man. At all. Yeah. Nothing. It sucks.
Maybe Destiny 2 will be decent.
I think they're obviously making Destiny 2 because they've already probably invested a year into it. But I think it's gone. I don't think it has no chance.
Speaking of things that have no chance, my choice is Drive Club. Because this was like, there's been some bad PR disasters this year, but Drive Club has to be one of the worst. And bad luck for the studio. So, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm completely forgetting the name of the studio that made Drive Club. But if one of you could Google that, that'd be awesome, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I actually put on Drive Club for worst game launch.
So, yeah, the studio that made Drive Club, if I'm not mistaken, is the same studio that made the last, what were the racing games called for the PS3?
Evolution Studios.
Evolution Studios, and they made, what were those off-road racers called?
World Rally, Motorstorm.
Motorstorm, yeah.
Apocalypse.
So, Motorstorm Apocalypse, they made, it was set to release like 1 month after, which tsunami was it? It was a horrible tsunami, thousands of people dead, and Motorstorm Apocalypse, which is you're racing through natural disasters. It was supposed to release a month after it, and Sony was like, "Yeah, guys, we're not gonna put that out right now. We're just gonna we're not gonna do that." So we going into Drive Club, they were already like, "Okay, guys, all right, we got to do better than last time." It wasn't their fault last time, but like we need a win basically, and. So when they announced the PS4, it's announced as like, okay, you're going to have to wait 8 years for the next Gran Turismo or whatever. But here is the tight arcade racer on the PlayStation 4. It's so gorgeous. It shows off all the power of it. Not only that, but since we just told everyone you have to pay for PlayStation Plus to get multiplayer, here's how we're going to soften the deal. Drive Club, massively multiplayer racing game. Like, you're going to play with all your friends. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be totally free for PlayStation Plus subscribers. And then as the game got closer to launch, they're like, okay, there's going to be like a special PlayStation Plus version that has like, a third of the content. But to get all the content, you'll have to buy the game. But if you have PlayStation Plus, you can play, like, the graphics are all there. Like, it's the same quality as the game, but it's not going to be quite all the content. And then the day it comes out, they waited until the PlayStation Store updated. Like, until people, like, once people started double checking, be like, hey, where's the PlayStation Plus games to download? They're like, oh yeah, guys, by the way, PlayStation Plus version's broken. Also, multiplayer doesn't work for the regular version right now. Thanks for your patience. We're working on it. And then there was like 3 weeks of them going, yeah, you just can't you can't play the multiplayer. Turns out there were some problems in the game we didn't know about after it was delayed a year. There's some problems we just didn't know about. No word on that PlayStation Plus version. Thank y'all for playing though. We appreciate it. Hang tough. And we're here a couple months later. Still no PlayStation Plus version. No mention of when that's coming out. And they have finally fixed the regular game though. So 1 year and 3 months after the game was supposed to launch, everything's hunky-dory except for the main version they talked about when they announced it. So, yeah. Unfortunately, I think that means Evolution Studios is probably done. Like, they've had 2 horrible failures in a row. One of them wasn't their fault, but that's unfortunately life. And I think Sony will probably dissolve them and reform them into another studio with a different name that doesn't have the stigma attached so they can build something else, because I don't think there's going to be a Drive Club 2 At least not from Evolution. Anyway, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get some of that like secondhand cringe from these, where it's like you actually feel some sympathy, like oh man, that's ooh.
I mean, from the people who've played the single player, say like it's a fun game.
Yeah.
Like the driving, everything's fun. It's just there's that one critical flaw they didn't address, and then they handled the PR poorly, and here we are. All right, now, what was your favorite multiplayer game released in 2014? What was your favorite multiplayer game released in 2014? Or the best? Favorite/best?
I want you guys to go first because I've got a longer and kind of weird answer.
All right.
Because there weren't many.
You want to go first?
I've got nothing. What came out this year?
Payday 2 came out last year, unfortunately.
Yeah, that would be my answer.
I
Go back in time.
I checked too, actually.
For this
Payday
year, it'd have
2
to
is
be
like
hands down Dark Souls 2.
Okay. Why?
Because it's the best multiplayer game I've played.
Okay. I'm not like saying your answer's wrong. I was just curious what your thought was.
It's awesome. I played a ridiculous amount of hours on it, and now I'm replaying with Dave, which is awesome. And then I'll probably get the updated version later this year. Or next year. Yeah, this year now. Yeah.
Not on the PC, though. You'll get it on the PS4.
Probably if I play with John.
Okay, because on the PC, it's not really going to be any different.
Yeah, no, they're updating it, yeah.
It's the Game of the Year edition, basically. They're adding the DLC.
You buy the patch, and you actually purchase the patch, and it adds in the new lighting engine, a whole bunch of new characters, story, all sorts of stuff like that.
Okay, all right. Well, I might.
It's not just like E and B mods or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dark Souls 2 is a pretty solid choice.
I'm gonna throw in, since I forgot. Even though it came out last year, technically, Grand Theft Auto Online.
It came out on the new consoles, this year. I'd say that counts as a new game because it runs way better.
Wait, GTA 5 has released now in 2013, 2014, and soon 2015. I just kind of processed that.
And it'll sell millions of copies every time.
Think about how many awards that game could win across all the platforms.
Most sites won't let you do Game of the Year if you release an enhanced edition the next year. Like that doesn't count. It has to be when it actually came out the first time. But
it's an impressive spread, though.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5. That's a really good choice. I was kind of torn. Like, I wanted to say Payday 2 because that was just so much fun. It's just built for multiplayer.
It released for us this year.
And the support, like, it's a continuing product this year. Like, there's like another event going on for New Year's, like new masks and like new drops and stuff, like specifically for New Year's over the last 3 days that got announced last week. Like, their support is just nuts.
Dave, are you saying there's a chance I could get a pink pistol handle? Or a new texture, a red texture for my mask or whatever?
Joel, I was reading in some of the patch notes for Payday. They actually had to do like a hard-coded UI update because the UI was originally only built to support like 60 masks, and there's now like 400 some masks from all these different events and stuff. So they had to like go in and like redo the UI because it was hard-coded to only support so many.
I think it's obvious they weren't expecting the game to be this successful, but they're doing a great job of riding the success. They're just like, just keep giving back to the community. As long as it keeps selling, keep doing stuff. Don't stop.
On an average night on Steam, there are more people playing Payday 2 and ARMA 3 than Call of Duty. Like, it's pretty wild.
Yeah. Of course, there's probably a lot more people on like Xbox Live playing Call of Duty.
Of course. Yeah, but still, that's impressive,
so, for my multiplayer game, so then I thought like maybe Spin Tires, because Spin Tires is ridiculous amounts of fun, but like it's a co-op game, I would say, more than multiplayer. So I'm going to go with Titanfall. It's easy to forget about because it released early this year, and then several months after release got kind of ruined by the poor matchmaking. But as far as like pure multiplayer action, that game is, I think, the most fun I had this year. It's super intense if you have a good team, and just the gameplay is so fluid and fun. It's awesome. I really like Titanfall. I went back and played a little bit of it last week just to test and see if I could play it at 4K, and it's still great. Like, if you can get into a match without any issues, there aren't many people playing it, unfortunately, because of all the matchmaking issues they've had this year. But it's still, the gameplay is a ton of fun. And the game runs smoothly, which is nice. So
as long as you don't alt-tab out, it runs smoothly.
No, I usually play in borderless windowed mode.
Right. Which is a workaround for the Source engine. Like, it hates tabbing. It really hates it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my official answer was actually the same one, Titanfall. There really were not a lot of multiplayer games that came out this year that I got into.
It's because you don't have PS4.
basically.
Oh, what all awesome multiplayer games were on the PS4 this year?
Grand Theft Auto 5, my choice.
That's true.
This is just like the GTA cast. I'm alright with this. We're just prepping for a few weeks from now. But yeah, Titanfall, like you said, it was fluid. It was easy to pick up, but hard to master. People complain about like, oh, there's not enough guns. I'm like, no, this is like compact and streamlined. And
The guns are different. Imagine that.
Yeah. Like, there aren't 1,000 attachments, just like 6 per gun. It works pretty well. And I think just the fact that once the matchmaking kind of went south, the fact that we were just like, oh man, I wish Titanfall, like, it was still so good. Like, that's a good way to look back on it. It's like, we only got 35 hours of gameplay. Like, oh
Right.
no.
It burned bright and brief.
Yeah. But it was a great game. I kind of had some side answers here because a lot of the games that I got into big this year came out last year, but didn't like really
DayZ,
stick
ARMA 3,
for me.
Payday 2.
Actually, I didn't put DayZ on here because I'm not gonna. I wouldn't consider DayZ like a multiplayer game of the year even close to it yet because it's not finished, and the experience is always so inconsistent. I've had some really great moments in DayZ this year, but I've also had some awful moments too, and some terrible performance, and it's not consistent enough to start handing out stuff to it
Well,
yet.
it wasn't
but
released this year anyway, so it doesn't really count.
No. Well, I'd say it was close enough to the end
Yeah.
of last year. Like, you can accept that as an answer. I mean, it
was half a month, like 2
Yeah.
weeks before the end of the year last year. So
It doesn't count for taxes.
the tax man don't care.
yeah, for me, I would say Payday 2 for sure, because we got hooked on that this summer for a while. Still want to go back to that for sure. And then once we started modding Arma 3, like our Arma 3 over the year just ramped up. Like starting at the beginning of the year with the game being out and a few patches in, we started ramping up, like doing co-op workshop missions. where people started-
Dinosaurs.
I'm getting to dinosaurs.
He's getting there. Don't worry.
That's what happened was like the longer that the year went on, the more community support there was, and then also the helicopters DLC and more patches from Bohemia. And so by this fall, your options in Arma 3 were insane. Like I've gotten deep into the content creation, but we haven't even tried stuff
Deep,
like
guys. You don't even know. It's deep.
Yeah, I've earned the Steam what is it, the Relentless Creator achievement like 3.5 times over now, which is 100 hours in the editor. I've earned it multiple times.
Do they give you a trading card or something?
Nope, just an achievement. Yeah, I mean, we do our own mod packs and missions. We put inappropriate amounts of hours into, but at the same time, we still haven't tried Battle Royale. We haven't tried Breaking Point. We haven't tried Altus Life. If we wanted to, we could just keep trying different game modes and mods in Arma 3, like, just forever. And as many hours as I put into it this year, like, it's terrifying to look and see how much more there is that we could be trying to. So even though Arma 3 came out last fall, technically, this is my year of Arma 3.
Cool. All right, and now here's the big money ticket item. What's your favorite single player game? And then I can put / game of the year. Like if it's not a game that had a single player component, what is just the best thing you played this year? That came out this year. Joel, do you want to go first?
Sure. Alien Isolation.
There it is.
Solid choice.
Yeah, absolutely love it.
Joel,
For what reasons? Like if someone hasn't picked up Alien Isolation, why should they play a 30-hour survival horror game?
I wouldn't even really call it that much of a survival horror game. Like honestly, like it's I don't know.
It's a pants changer.
It's a pants. Yeah, it's not even that terrifying. It's just really cool exploring the ship. It kind of feels like a real place. And so the best part, I mean, like I'm a huge fan of the Alien movies, and I just love that kind of 80s, the way the computers work and everything. And it feels a little bit like Fallout 3 a little bit, like when you're wandering around.
Yeah,
it's just. It reminds me a lot like when I played BioShock 1 for the first time. Like that world probably is one of the best worlds I've ever explored in a game. Like it's just so much fun. And this, yeah, I've just really enjoyed like I don't know. I don't feel rushed to go everywhere. It's just fun taking your time. It feels really real. And I think the fact that the alien is just so random when it's you have no idea what it's gonna do, and so that's been really really fun. I think I forget how many hours I have in the game now. I think like 27 or something now in the game, and I know I'm nowhere close to the end. And but it's just really good. Like I hope it doesn't end for a long time because it's just every time I play it, it's awesome. So
that's the thing I like most about that game, and I've spent some time with it doing stuff with the potato masher. And I know I've said this before. I probably sound like a broken record to you guys, but it worked great on both platforms. I've played it on PC and PlayStation 4. It looked great on both platforms. The experience was, as far as I can tell, identical on both platforms, but neither platform felt like there were any shortcuts or handicaps given to it to make it work. Like it just felt like a really awesome game, no matter how you played it. And it ran great and just released and worked. And I was like, dang it, how awesome is that when that happens? Like, it's just a good game for everybody.
And for me, the weirdest part remains that game was developed on a custom game engine by the developers of the Total War series. Their pedigree includes 1,000 Total War games and then Alien Isolation with a custom engine.
Yeah,
I know. It's an absolutely gorgeous engine.
Needs to be applied to other things. Not to too many spoilers, but on the potato masher, we were able to do 4K in that engine. 4K at
it runs
frame
so
rates.
freaking well.
And it looks so great. Even on the lowest settings, that game still looks better.
The lighting still looks awesome.
That came out this year.
Also, it had a backdoor Oculus Rift like setting that worked just fine.
Which, if any game really needs Oculus Rift, I think Alien Isolation has Joel and Dave keep telling us. I'm so excited, Joel. Next time I'm in town, I really want to try that out.
Absolutely.
And the weird part, too, is that Creative Assembly's Rome 2 was like a huge crash and burn last fall. Like, maybe they were just putting all that effort into Alien. Mm-hmm. Who's to say?
All right, Dave, what's yours?
It was actually really hard for me to pick a single-player game. Because I think, whereas there were almost no multiplayer launches this year that I got really into, single-player stuff, like, it was a good year for single-player games, even with some rough launches.
What are, like, your 5 favorites, then? Like, for people who don't know, what's the good single-player stuff this year?
I was tempted to select Alien Isolation because I know it's so good. I've heard Joel talk about it. I've played it on the Oculus Rift and it's amazing. However, I'm only like 3 hours in still. I got it in mid-November. I haven't played it in like 4 weeks now just because it's like I have so many other good single player games and that game is stressful. It's so good. It's legitimately stressful to play. I could play it like for an hour or two. I think I've done 2 sessions about an hour and a half each. And it's honestly, after a while, I'm like, I want to play Far Cry or something. It's just slap happy explosions and fun. Where I'm not being
explosions and fun, racism and genocide in the mountains of Thailand. I'm a white man. I'm just here to kill stuff. Woo!
I don't think Thailand is anywhere near.
Actually, do you even know if you are a white dude in that game?
You take a selfie early on.
Do you? I honestly don't remember that.
Isn't it near Thailand? Or the Himalayas. Sorry, the Himalayas. I'm not good at geography.
Yeah, that's not even close to Thailand.
Wow.
But yeah,
where are the Himalayas? Please,
you're gonna be racist. Be racist correctly.
Yeah, be the right type of racist.
It's on the border of India.
Right. The Himalayas are on the border of India. Where's Thailand? Where's Thailand? Don't laugh at me, guys. Just someone tell me where it is.
We got to move on. Move on quick. So yeah, I am looking forward to playing more Alien Isolation. I just need to mix it up with other stuff.
Because your blood pressure can't handle it.
Honestly, like my heart palpitates. It gets stressful and painful. Alien Isolation, great game, bad for your health. For indie releases, The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, which is coming to PS4 next year. I just saw.
Dang you.
Holy crap! One of the best looking games that I've seen in years.
See it in 4K. You don't even know.
You sent me screenshots. You shut your face. I could almost put them full screen on my 1440p screen.
Print them out and put them on your wall and just stare at them.
Okay. It ran great. It looks incredible, and it was a good experience. Like I even like the ending that some people had issues with. Great little short mystery adventure game. Good stuff. For overall single player choice, I already talked about Watch Dogs. I actually really enjoyed it despite the issues, but Far Cry 4, I got it for free with my 970, and first impressions were just that it was like Far Cry 3, like DLC. Like it felt so similar. Even, I swear, some of the weapons are like reskins, and some of the animations are like the exact same rig, Like every bit of timing on some of the animations look exactly the same. But the further I've gotten into it, at almost 40 hours now, they took like every part of Far Cry 3 that was the good parts, the outpost and the good side missions, added more stuff to it, like the rescue the hostages missions are so much fun. They upgraded the graphics a little bit. They added some cool PC exclusive features that I was really happy to see, like volumetric god rays, total mind blank on the rest of them. I was gonna say the extra bump mapping on the tree bark, but that's not that exciting.
For you, it is.
I was just like, all right. The ambient occlusion actually was pretty wild. Some of the super accurate ambient occlusion.
The ambient occlusion was pretty wild.
Pretty wild, guys.
2015.
It's really funny. If you went back and forth, NVIDIA had one of those sliders. By making it more accurate, some of the areas where you had lots of texture decals that were close, like the grass especially, it helped to avoid that like black shadow clumping at the base and actually like make it a lot smoother. It was pretty impressive. But overall, the characters in the game are great. The gunplay is fantastic. The difficulty, it can be a pretty difficult game. And then you have co-op on top of all of that, which has occasionally terrifying amounts of desync. But yeah, it's every good part of Far Cry 3 just improved upon. Incredible game.
Dave, I feel like I'm watching...
when you're getting close to being done with it, so I can play it on your account now.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm watching you from a security camera, Dave. Really tall monitor.
It's my 1440p monitor. It's 27 inches, and then I use an elbow mount to mount it to the stand at the back of my desk, which is already like a good 10 inches above the surface of my desk. Then I have the elbow mount above that, so I'm actually looking up at my camera right now.
I mean, I don't get me wrong. I like the voyeuristic view of you.
Hello? Who's there?
Can we have the camera canted just a little bit? Just add some more dramatic effect.
Yeah, I can do that for you, Joel.
All right.
Thanks, Dave. So kind of you.
All right.
Favorite games?
Yes, James.
Single player.
Yes.
Single player. I have not been it yet, but Infamous Second Son has been amazing so far.
I would say the couple hours I played the beach of that.
Oh, I didn't
really
know you got
really-
it, James.
Yeah, I got it like 2 weeks after I got the PS4.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wait. Is it Jeremiah that? Wait. Never mind. I don't know what I'm
hadn't
talking
played it
about.
until I was at
Never
the beach
mind.
with you. All right, sorry.
It's just
Yeah, we
really,
both played it.
really fluid, and exploration's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Another game I haven't gotten to play much lately, but Dragon Age has been amazing so far.
Mm.
Oh yeah, it's freaking huge, Joel.
It's
weren't kidding.
ridiculous.
It's
ridiculous.
Well, I mean that part of me that just always wants to say, "Oh, what's over here?
Yeah.
What's over here?" It's just like it never stops going. And then I fight something and die.
Dude,
I'm like,
I've
all right,
spent
screw it.
25 hours in that one area of the Hinterlands.
That's crazy.
I haven't finished all the quests in there either.
Oh man.
I've kind of gone on to do back and forth because you like run into an area that's just like what the heck, so hard. You'll kill one guy in 1 second. A bear like right around the corner takes everyone out like in like one hit. I'm like, what the heck? It's good though. It's a good game.
I would say my indie game, even it technically released last year for the PC or 3DS. I don't know what it launched for. SteamWorld Dig.
I was about to say, did you beat that game like in one setting?
I did. I like literally just sat and started playing. I couldn't stop. Like it was 6 hours. I mean, it's embarrassingly long to sit and play one game. But
Yes, Ultra Fallout 3 counts for a good single player game this year. That's correct.
just because you played it for the first time this year, it counts. It counts.
You're only 6 years late.
With SteamWorld, just the mechanics are just so good. Like the jumping feels almost Mario-esque. Like just the freshness of it.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually really good. I played it a little again not too long ago, so I'm not that far in it. I've just upgraded like my pickaxe a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it gets addicting. We start upgrading everything.
I would say
James, I can see the gleam in your eyes as you recount the loot and gems you get.
I would say
Heavy breathing.
Sorry, James, did you have something else to say?
Nope.
Okay. I would say for me, like, it was a bit hard because I quit playing Assassin's Creed Unity midway through, quit playing Watch Dogs midway through, I haven't played Far Cry 4 yet because I've been waiting for Dave to be done with it so I can use his Uplay account.
Every outpost and every tower is being beaten.
Good job.
Dude, I should just share my Far Cry 4 on mine since I'm playing on mine on PS4 anyways.
Destiny, obviously a giant disappointment. Like there's just been so many games this year I was just like, I don't know. You know, they haven't been that great. So I'm going to say I'm split between, and this is going to sound really indie hipster of me, but I'm split between Spin Tires and The Vanishing of Ethan Carter as the most fun I've had playing a single player / co-op game this year. But I'm not going to pick those. I'm going to pick Dark Souls 2 because it's a game.
Because you could never play multiplayer.
It's a game. It's a game.
No matter how hard you tried it, it was always single player.
It's a game. It's unlike anything I normally play. I don't play those types of games. It was very, very hard for me. I had to grow a little bit as a gamer this year to be able to play Dark Souls 2. It's just not. I just don't have those skills, like the super tight blocking, dodging, hacking stuff. I just am not good at that. And so it was very, very difficult at first. And now that I've learned the mechanics, I have a decent amount of fun. I accidentally deleted my save when I reinstalled Windows, so that's kind of my bad.
This is just, getting you ready for Bloodborne for the true experience.
Probably. But I would say like that it pushed and challenged me more than any other game has this year, and it still had a pretty fun multiplayer component. I've mostly been playing it as a multiplayer game.
Mostly as a business manager. You just like go and summon people and you're like, do my bid, and you just stand back and like watch people whip each other and kill.
So I'm an excellent manager is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I make sure to hit every boss at least once. Okay.
The last one you go, got you.
I pile on and like, I'm winning.
Dave and I, we were playing the other night, and we summoned this random guy, and he's like fighting with an axe, and then right at the end pulls out a whip and it's just going like we just stand back. We're like, let's let him do this job.
The great part too, Joel, was that like the boss battle had just gone like really, really south. Like we were both like getting just smashed around, and this guy like backs up and takes out a whip with like a 40-foot range to it. And he's like, no, I got this, guys. Like he saved us with a whip.
All right. So that's that. Up next is news time.
News time.
Yes, our first news item. Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, which is not Metal Gear Solid 5. It's just a prequel or preview. It's one level. But now they've gotten a big PC patch that you can now officially mod the game. Like they've made modding a lot easier. So one of the first things people have come up with, besides like there's FOV changes, you can change the field of view, time edits, weather edits. You can swap out Big Boss's face with the series creator Hideo Kojima. But now they've lifted the frame rate cap. So the game had caps for 30 FPS and caps for 60. And now if you want, you can play it at 120, 96, 144, whatever you want. This game is a slow enough moving game. I'm not sure if you're going to see a ton of a benefit from playing it like 120 hertz, but it performs pretty well. So if you have a fast monitor, you'll probably be able to play it at pretty high frame rates. So really the only newsworthy part of that is it officially kind of supports modding now, which is really awesome for a primarily PS4 game. So good on them. Next bit of news. The Elder Scrolls Online.
Ooh, what is this?
Well, more rumors about it going free to play, which no MMO creator wants to say, yeah, this game's definitely going to go free to play because they want it to make a lot of money and they want people to spend $60 on it and pay $15 a month to play it as long as possible. But Bethesda has removed the 6-month and 1-year subscription options. You can now only subscribe for 90 days or less on their website, which might mean within 3 months that it's going to be going free to play, or at least they're preparing for it to go free to play, and they want to ease people into it without having to announce it, which it was pretty much a guarantee it was going to go free to play at some point. But
Debbie's going to freak out, Joel.
Yeah, for anyone who's been waiting to play it.
James, you're going to play with me, right?
Maybe.
I will download it and play it for several hours. That's my promise.
I played it for 38 hours.
That's not that long for an MMO.
No, I only had it
James
for 30 days.
James is like, peasant scrub.
You're doing it wrong.
38 hours in a month. That's not bad for you.
Yeah, I played it a lot.
Yeah. At the rate you buy games, how are you able to devote that much time to the Elder Scrolls Online?
Because I only played just that game that month.
2 games a day or something. So.
What he did was, Jeremiah, he just taped his credit card receipt like 1 month, 30 days to his monitor. And he kept pushing that stack of new games aside, like, I can get to you guys later. Don't worry, I'm not gonna forget about you.
All right, and then the last bit of news. It's a short news segment this week. Last bit of news. Battlefield Hardline. The developers are claiming that Electronic Arts is claiming that Battlefield Hardline is the fastest Battlefield ever. It's going to be the most fast, the most fluid, the most action-packed. They're trying to avoid saying the most like Call of Duty of any Battlefield ever. So
what does that mean, though? Like,
it means like the speed of weapon switching, movement, climbing in and out of vehicles. Like they're removing anything that was simulation, like in the Battlefield games, and they're going.
Wasn't much left.
There really wasn't, but they're going for straight arcade action this time. So
like Battlefield 4 then.
Well, if Battlefield 4 ran properly, maybe. I don't know. I have a hard time judging.
I mean, Battlefield 4 is already a lot faster paced than I'd like it to be compared to 2 and even 3.
Well, it's faster paced originally, but when you factor in all the times where the game hitches and hesitates, it ends up being about the same speed that you can actually play it at.
I wouldn't know. Mine works.
Now, yeah.
It's worked since the May patch. Yay!
All right, it is now time for the Singularity Shame segment. Joel?
Shame.
No, that's not. You don't remember?
What was it again? I forget.
Yeah, I forget too.
You went, and then,
Oh,
then you
yeah.
went, bah,
Oh, yeah, that's what it was.
bah.
What
Debbie, if you want that to be better, you gotta
by?
come on the podcast. Okay. Did you guys see, this blew up on the internet in the past 2 days, that particular Comcast customer service call? Did you see that?
When did it pop
Another
up?
one?
In the last 2 days.
No,
Okay.
I haven't.
So the Singularity Shame segment, in case you don't know what it is it's named after Singularity 80, who's not a shameful person. He's a nice guy. But we named the segment after him.
He likes to share shame, though.
Yes, it's
Spread
any
it.
company that really just needs to be made fun of for a little bit goes into the Singularity Shame segment. Now, Comcast doesn't really need us piling on. They are officially, once again, voted the worst company in America. So I don't know how many of those trophies they've gotten so far, but it's been quite a few.
It's a good collection.
And it mostly centers around how terrible the customer service is. Well, this guy from a tech site called Comcast to cancel his service, and he recorded the call. And the customer service rep, I almost couldn't. I listened to the entire thing. It's like 7 minutes long. I almost couldn't believe that this person had such a lack of decency that they could keep talking. He was just the guy called up and he said exactly what you should say when you're calling to cancel your service. Not hi, I'm unhappy with my service. Because then the customer service rep, it's their job to try to sweeten the deal and keep you and
Here,
stuff.
let me transfer you to retention.
Yeah, exactly. This guy was
dun.
I would like to cancel my service. Pretty upfront, you know exactly what he wants. And the other guy was like, well, could you talk to me about what you don't like? And he's super hyper. Could you talk to me about what you don't like about your Comcast service? He's like, I would like to cancel it, please. He's like, but why? Why would you want to give up the number one internet and television company in America? Why would you want to give that up? The guy's like,
because
I would like
you
to
have no other choice.
the guy's like, I'd like to cancel my service, please. He's like, but tell me this. Explain to me why you don't want the best. And the guy was like, I'd like to cancel, please. He's like, well, you want to give up the best? You don't want the number one internet and television service in the country? Explain.
Wait, I have seen this. Was not just a couple days ago.
This is months ago.
Yeah, this is old.
No,
Yeah.
there's been several of these. This
No.
just got posted a couple days ago. Am I wrong?
This sounds
Am I
very
entirely
familiar.
wrong?
No, yeah, this
Really?
because
This happened a couple months
sounds
ago.
exactly like what I've heard. It was about 7 minutes too.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll just keep going then. Sorry, I made the mistake. I really thought it was this week.
Your computer's working so well, the internet's just coming 7 months late.
He's not using Comcast.
It keeps going, and the guy just won't stop. He just says, "Sir, I just don't understand." He's angry. The customer service rep is angry. He's not trying to be super cheerful and win the guy back. He's like, how dare you, is basically his attitude. You want to give up Comcast?
Oh,
You're
dude,
ready
it
to
was
just leave
ridiculous.
Comcast? And the guy's like, yes, I am totally ready to do that. He's like, you can't do that. And the guy's like, sir, can you cancel me over the phone? And the guy's like, I just want to talk about why you want to leave Comcast. Yes or no, sir? Can you cancel this over the phone? We're going to talk about why you want to leave Comcast. sir, are you able to cancel my
I
service?
would have been like, it's you. It's your fault. This is all you.
Eventually, he did say something. He was very polite, but he did throw in something about, like, it's calls like this. This is one of the reasons I want to leave.
There it is.
I would have just unloaded on the guy and been like, look, I realize you've got to feed your family somehow, but, like, you know, I don't have to be okay with you clubbing babies. I don't have to be okay with you, like, selling your body.
Seals, but not babies.
Exactly. You know, I don't have to be okay with you treating me like this. Like, this is ridiculous. So
I found the Comcast guy who actually was. This is actually a live 10-second clip of that guy. I think this absolutely sums up that Comcast. I posted in the Twitch chat. This is amazing.
Right,
this is exactly who he is.
We're gonna listen to it. We're gonna listen to it. Okay? Is everyone ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. Have you seen that movie Troll 2?
No.
Oh, it's so amazing. You can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it. And he starts taking his belt off. You're like, what's gonna happen?
That's what this guy is. He's like, you can't leave us. And the guy's like, yes, I can. He's like, yo, no, you can't leave the #1 internet and TV service. It's like, you don't have to keep giving him the pitch. He's been signed up. He doesn't want you anymore.
It's over. Stop making it awkward.
Yeah. Stop being clingy. It's weird. All right. It's now time for mail time.
Mail time.
Whoa. Bass drop, though.
Flex my voice right there.
So you can write into the show at casualshenanigans@gmail.com. Just like Jonathan, he said, "Hello guys, I've been around from the beginning and I still love your podcast." Thanks, Jonathan.
What does that mean?
I have a small question for you this night. Are graphics cards and other computer parts region locked? Oh man, we're just reading this question in time. I just looked at the date. The sweet exchange rates are in my favor. $1 equals about 6 Swedish kroner. Me and my girlfriend are going to New York on vacation on January 2nd, so I want to pick up some sweet deals. What should I aim for and where should I look? Any good stores? I currently have a GTX 760 and no SSD. I can spend about $400 to $500 on a graphics card and maybe an SSD. Thanks for everything, guys. And Germ slap a seal. Greetings from Sweden, Jonathan. Jonathan, I'm replying to your email right now and saying that no, things are not region locked. As far as I know, computer parts are not region locked. Is that correct, Dave?
Yeah, I think there are no hardware region locks that I'm aware of.
And now, if he wants to go buy something in a store, now it says New York. I'm guessing that means New York City. Is there a Micro Center in near New York City?
I'm
not sure, but
something.
Yeah, I would think so. But I'd also be worried a little bit about customs and importation, because there are, I think, if you buy items that are over a certain value, you're supposed to declare them on customs forms. I don't know the exact amounts, but you are going to want to research that. Like, it would suck to get fined like $500 for smuggling a graphics card into Sweden.
Well, could you like buy it and just mail it to yourself, or does that still have to go through customs on the other end?
I think you could mark it as like, this is a gift, like on the package for customs. Like whenever I get like one of those $1 HDMI cables from China, it always arrives in this super like crinkly envelope with the little stamp on the front that says like customs. Is this a gift? Yes. So
you're buying your HDMI cables from China, Dave.
But if you
so it's an HDMI cable, Joel.
Jonathan, just as far as you have $400 to $500 on a graphics card, maybe an SSD, get a GTX 970, and you can probably get a 500 gig SSD for that money, and that's a pretty solid combination. Or get a GTX 970 and a 240 gig SSD or something. Samsung 840 or 850 Evo, awesome drives. Look at those. All right, our next bit of mail is from Nixon. Nixon says, "Thanks for all your help with my friend's PC. Apparently, it was a bad sound driver. He was experiencing, if you don't remember, it was after like 2 days of being on, the computer would start stuttering and glitching up horribly in all of the games he was playing. But apparently, it was not because it needed to be restarted a bunch, as we officially recommended. It was due to a bad sound card driver. Again, just wanted to say thanks and have a good night." So that's interesting. Sound cards. Why doesn't someone make like a good sound card that just works? You know? Like onboard sound is the only way to get sound that just works correctly.
It's a really small market now.
Yeah.
You know, I think it would be really helpful for PCs. Instead of having the blue screen when that happens, it's just replaced kind of with what Dark Souls does. It just says, "Welcome to PC," and the
Wait, what, you were dead?
When you have errors, it's kind of like, oh, that's
Joel,
why I had an error.
The blue screen is to give you technical information.
I know that.
To fix your problem.
I know that.
Joel would rather have a cinematic experience and use the information.
Joel's like,
So
I'm not going to fix it anyway. I'm just going to call Dave. So why can't I be entertained? Love you, Joel. All right, Adam writes in. Hey guys, I had an early Christmas gift of the new Razer Black Widow Chroma and Razer Death Adder Chroma. That is a mechanical keyboard and a gaming mouse. It's awesome, really awesome, but I'm having an issue. This is my first mechanical keyboard. I'm not sure if it's regular for it to have a tiny, tinny, spring-sounding echo after you lift up the keys. It's pretty annoying. If it was possible it's a defect of some sorts, it's definitely a possibility to get a return. It's pretty loud, and I can still hear it with earbuds in and even with over-ear headphones on. Should I return the keyboard?
Aren't
Dave,
there
didn't your mechanical keyboard make a pinging noise when you first got it, a spring noise? Mine
Not
did.
that I remember.
Mine did for the first couple days. Like I could hear it with headphones on. Still, it was like a ding, ding. I guess it was while the springs were breaking in or something.
I guess it's a thing. Then I don't remember that happening, but I think there are switches that would make the springs more noticeable for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure which switches I have, but they're loud. They're definitely loud. Anyone who listens to the podcast knows that. Yeah, I would wait and see if they go away. If it doesn't go away in a week or two, maybe looking to getting a return. But I definitely have.
Because it should have at least a 1-year warranty on it. So
yeah, it should. But I think it's something that's probably just going to go away, most likely. There's not a whole lot that can go wrong on a mechanical keyboard. A keyboard is just a pretty simple thing. And if it's happening on all the keys, it's probably just how that keyboard sounds.
That's a good point too. Yeah.
Yeah, if one of them was super loud, I'd say, yeah, maybe there's a problem. But he said, I've forgotten if last time if I wrote in if you just respond on the podcast or not. So just to be sure, can you also respond to this email with info and suggestions? No, I'm not going to do that. So listen to the podcast.
Wow, meow.
All of it. No fast forwarding, no skipping around. You start at the beginning, you listen to all of us in our news segment, you get to your question.
No, I'll respond to it later. Thanks, Adam. Thank you, Adam. Thank you for writing in. And as again, you can always write into casualshenanigans@gmail.com. It is now time for 90 Seconds with Joel, the part of the podcast where Joel talks about whatever he wants for however much time he wants to talk about it.
He just starts yawning immediately. This is going to be good.
Oh, good, Joel. Thanks for not phoning this one in this week, Joel. Thanks.
What'd you say?
I said, thanks for not phoning it in this week. You're like, oh, all right, let's talk about crap.
Well, before I begin, I hope my neck doesn't hurt that much tomorrow, because earlier I sneezed and I was looking at the TV in a weird position and my neck just went it hurts so bad.
You're old now. James, you know what this is like,
right? When I was 12
too.
Have you ever sneezed and your neck just goes I don't know,
not my neck, no.
I moved my head or something. I don't know what happened. It hurt crazy.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I settled back in.
You described it. I'm injured, medic.
I grabbed some frozen fruit, in a frozen fruit bag in the freezer, and I just went out and just put it on my neck, and I was like, oh man, please tomorrow not just be crazy hurting. So we'll see. It feels okay right now, but I'm kind of scared.
Put some icy hot on it.
Go take your BC powder, Joel.
Go tell your wife about For Better or For Worse and those vows she made, and tell her you need a 4-hour shoulder rub.
Sickness and in hell.
You owe me, woman.
You made a promise before God.
Those vows cover injuries while watching television.
I'm putting my foot down. You see it? It's coming down.
That's
how marriage works,
Why didn't you brace for the... Why didn't you brace for the sneeze? Why were you still?
Do you normally have to brace for sneezes?
If I'm this, I'm probably not going to sneeze. I'm probably going to try to
young. I was let the sneezes go.
This way, and I was sitting this way on my couch, and when I sneezed, I kind of
a glamour shot watching TV.
Gotta look good.
And I think just the angle, I don't know, but it was just my neck felt warm, it's when you pull something, you're like, oh my gosh. So, but hopefully
for the neck window, Joel, is it the one where when it happens, it feels really cold at first, tingly, and it warms
up. This big twinge of pain. You're like, what the heck? It was probably the worst I've ever experienced from that. I haven't sneezed and caused that to happen for a long time, so I must be weird. Okay, on to my actual 90 seconds.
Okay, good. This wasn't your actual 90 seconds.
No, I have
Joel, you literally just telling us about an injury you got.
Okay, guys, I hurt today.
So I was thinking about this while I was watching Netflix, and it was Christmas time here in America, And
It's Christmas time, not places, Joel.
yeah, I know, but
It's different and special in America.
yeah,
It's the same day,
it's
but
not like the pooping
It's
log.
the same day everywhere, Joel.
it's true. There are no pooping logs.
It's not the same everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, it's not. So,
Like where?
okay. What do you mean?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It's not China. Korea?
It's still Christmas Day in Korea.
Do they celebrate Christmas?
No,
the
I don't
same
think
day?
so. I don't think it is.
All right, guess we're Googling this.
Yeah.
Joel, you keep talking. I'll
Okay,
Google
okay.
it.
So anyways,
Which Korea?
No,
South
New Year
Korea
has
or
a
West
different day
Korea?
in some of these countries, but
I'm like, it means they have like a different tradition and everything else. But
Okay,
sometimes it's not
sure.
on the same day, like Boxing Day or whatever. Okay. So I was watching there was with a fireplace. You can search up fireplace on Netflix, and we had that going on the TV because we had friends over and stuff. And I realized I had the hearing impaired closed captioning on, right? And during the fireplace thing, it would every once in a while pop up say crackling sounds, and I was looking at that. And then you can choose seasons of this fireplace DVD thing that's on Netflix. And one
is this what you were watching when you sneezed?
yeah, I just
So
watch them by
intently.
myself. Like, ooh, fire. One of them has Christmas music.
I don't want to look away.
And every once in a while it would show an icon of like music and say music playing. And I was thinking there going, wait a second. Okay, like if you're deaf and you have that on and you're watching a movie and it says music is playing, I've always wondered like, isn't that kind of like a middle finger to like, hey guys, music's playing. Oh, you can't hear that. Like, it's like you can't like.
Yeah, just don't tell them. They won't know.
Well, yeah, like, I guess for me, I've always wondered, like, to a deaf person, would they, like, is it good to know, like, hey, there's music during this part? Would that enhance the viewing, knowing that there's music even though you can't hear it? Because I've watched a few movies, like, especially subtitled movies, like an Asian movie or whatever like that, like Jackie Chan, late at night, and I was watching the movie and just had closed captioning on so I could just read it, so they had dubbed. And it didn't matter to me, like, if it had music or not, but I always thought, like, it's like the little icon kind of like floats up like, hey guys, this is music for people who can hear. And I'm like, that's so douchebag of them. But I don't know if that's maybe something if they like, knowing
what's
that they're
worse,
using
do that or to just leave all off the closed captioning? So like they've been closed captioned this whole time. And they're like, and their friends are like, oh yeah, there's stuff going on right here. And they're like, why did you talk about this? Oh, because you don't know what music is.
I don't know. I mean, it makes sense. Like if you hear somebody talking, like in the background, it would say like chatter in the background or whatever, But it's when the music turns, when they have a little musical icon. I just wondered, like, is that something that a deaf person would need to know, or is it, or if every time they see it, they're kind of like, "Aw,"
All right. Sorry, go ahead.
So, and then the last thing I had to say. You made me forget.
I'm sorry.
Your large
is Joel's
face.
time.
Sorry.
This is Joel's time.
I'm sorry.
What was it? Dang it! It was about.
I messed up.
You said something earlier. What'd you say
Joel
earlier?
is old.
What'd you say earlier? It was about closed cap.
I have some Christmas date answers for it.
Now, just go ahead. If I think of it,
Okay.
I'll say it.
So the only country I was able to find that celebrates it on a different date is Russia. They celebrate it on January 7th because they use the Julian calendar for religious celebration days. Other countries that don't celebrate Christmas. Thailand is predominantly Buddhist and they don't celebrate it. And then here are a bunch of other countries that don't celebrate Christmas. See if you could figure out the common thread. Turkey, Morocco, Somalia, Laos, Cambodia.
No one celebrates anything in
Kuwait,
Somalia.
Uzbekistan, Egypt, Iraq, the Congo, Algeria, Yemen, Kazakhstan, United Arab Emirates, Libya, Iran, Azerbaijan, Oman, Mongolia, Turkmenistan, Bhutan, Nepal, North Korea, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Mauritania, Pakistan. That's a real place. Oh no, I feel like a horrible person. Bahrain, Israel.
Wait, is Pakistan a real place?
Tajikistan.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
Bahrain,
Pakistan is not a real place.
Tunisia, Afghanistan, and Jordan, and then Israel, for obvious reasons. But yeah, and China. So anyway,
Who
that's
posted the chat for the closed captioning? Oh, James.
Me.
That's okay. I didn't think about that. This makes a lot of sense. Like one of this article he said is sometimes it's a basic noun or it's a specific instrument. Like saying it's jazz music, then that would make sense for like something more relaxing, or organ or upbeat piano. You would maybe
or scary or.
So that's interesting. I think that's very interesting. I wonder if that works really well for people who could hear and then lost their hearing, so they still could understand what that does mean. But what about people who couldn't, were born deaf and they couldn't hear that or have no idea what that means? I'm curious to know if it doesn't make a difference for those people. So, okay, enough about that. But
you might,
and I don't mean
Casual
to be mean
Shenanigans
to anybody
Gaming,
who can't,
a podcast
who
all
can't
about
hear.
everything PC gaming.
It's not like they're going to be listening to our podcast.
Oh my gosh, you're a terrible.
That's not to sound
Come on,
horrible.
Joel. You knew going in that you shouldn't say that. You knew. I could see it in your eyes. You're like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Oh, it's coming out.
mouth, no.
One of these days when we become popular enough that someone's going to transcribe the entire podcast.
I'm sure that's going to happen. All right, it is now time for the comments of the week. Dave, we have 3 comments of the week. The part of the show where Dave really shows how cultured and informed all of his viewers are by pulling a little nugget, a little dingleberry of a comment out and letting us all listen to it in Joel's voice, or Joel's special commenting voice.
So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to read the first 2. I'll read the first one, and then Joel, I want you to create characters. I'm going to actually change the order here. I want you to create characters for comments 2 and 3. And
Okay,
can you
highlight
see
the ones you want me to read.
Give him some motivation.
Sorry,
Give
what's that, Joel?
him a setting. Give him
Okay. The first one, I'll just go ahead and read this one because it was just kind of sad. This was a comment on one of my videos this week. I think it was on late on New Year's night, New Year's Eve, I guess. I think I should spend less time watching guys play PC games on YouTube. Sad smiley face.
Someone's thinking of those New Year's resolutions.
It's probably someone who watched through all 90 episodes of Total War and realized I'm watching someone else play a game.
It's like
when I could
watching
be
a board game.
I know.
There's a lot of episodes. And then here's your setup, Joel, for comments numbers 2 and 3. Number 2 is a comment that was posted with no context on a Total War video from 6 months
Always
ago.
on a Total War video. Is that even necessary to say at this point?
But the last one, so Dean Hall, the creator of DayZ,
Your Total War videos are going to become the next Reddit.
the discussion threads. Dean Hall has left Bohemia. He's still working as independent contractor, but he started his own studio and he's back home in New Zealand for the first time in a few years. And over Christmas break, he's been going out fishing, going hiking, and he went windsurfing out there over Christmas break. He's been having a blast just being home again, right? And on his personal Twitter account, he's just been sharing some pictures of hey, I went on this hike and it was fun, and check out the surf as I was windsurfing out there off of New Zealand. And so Joel, your context for that last comment is actually a Twitter reply to Dean posting about his personal vacation time after 2 years, let's not forget, of working on the DayZ mod and standalone. He had not planned to stay in the Czech Republic for more than 6 months. He was stuck there for 2 years. He just got away. He had to come back home to his family. But go ahead, you have your context.
If you're searching for your dignity at the bottom of the ocean, you won't find it, sir. You effed us all, Dean. Drown in a sea of AIDS. Rocket, no, I'm drowning.
And Dean Hollis, he's out on the boat, gets out on his phone, and he's like, oh man, I missed this. Why did I ever leave?
He swims back to his boat in cash. He's like, oh, I'm so glad I left that game. He's actually canoeing over cash. His river of cash.
You got our Total War comment too, Joel?
Oh, yeah.
Remember,
No context.
the setup is no context, posted on an old Total War video just by itself.
Well, I don't know. This might actually have some context because maybe in this video you were acting like a little bitch.
How do you do that in a Total War game? I don't understand.
I don't know. Maybe. Well,
With
okay,
diplomacy,
Dave,
you're just rolling over and letting those other countries impose them trade
No.
sanctions.
Actually,
I feel like this comment is not necessarily completely random. Okay, I've been playing Dark Souls 2 with Dave, and okay. We're in the same
Just
area.
Say what you want to say, Joel.
We're in
Just
the
say
same.
it.
We're in the same area, and I'm like, okay, Dave, let me know when you get down to this little area and you hit water and stuff. I'll kind of know where you're gonna be at. He's like, you've kind of overestimated how far you think I am. He's still back looking through his inventory for 20 minutes. So I can understand someone being like, okay, you're acting like a little bitch. Just keep moving on, man. Just
This is
stop looking
like
at your
trying to meet up
damn
with Dave
loot.
playing DayZ. Every time trying to meet up with Dave, hey Dave, you almost there? You almost here? Yeah, man,
Oh, yeah,
I'm
stop.
5 minutes away. Dude, you're 5 minutes away 10 minutes ago. Did you stop and loot?
I didn't have to loot. I just looked real quick. I didn't actually take anything.
So this,
they're
no
like, "No, I'm
offense, could
checking
actually
his
be a
house."
valid comment.
I don't think that's possible in a single player Total War game.
But it is possible. You posted online, you're chatting during playing a Total War game. You could have been playing like a little bitch. I mean, there's a possibility. Like, that's a possibility.
I think Joel's getting
That can
offended now. Don't forget, Joel, you've actually played Total War with me too, and in Rome too, so...
Oh, I know. I play that game like a total ass.
All
So
right.
I feel like that would make sense.
Before we go this week, if you haven't seen the announcement about it, we have a new ARMA mod pack. Really quickly, if you're like, but I just got the old mod pack, why do I have to get the new one? Dave and I have learned a lot about how to make good mod packs, and this mod pack is much better than the last one. It has a lot of the same stuff, but you still have to delete the old one and re-download this one. But we've designed it so when we have updates and stuff in the future, you'll only have to download a gig or two at a time. You won't have to download massive 8 or 9 gig files, except for the first time where you have to download massive files. But we have some cool community stuff coming up, and some of you we're going to be contacting you. We've got some ideas we want to bounce off you, so cool stuff's coming up. Definitely grab the new mod pack, Dave.
Yes.
I'm going to put a link to the Google Doc in the description of the podcast.
There's a bit.ly link for it too, if you want that.
We can't just say it's a bit.ly.
Well, yeah. It's got a period in it.
All right, I dropped it in chat. Okay, so yeah, definitely check that out. If you have any questions about it, let us know. And things are going to be awesome. Join us next week when we talk about the Potato Masher. I know Joel and James are super pumped about this episode. I'm expecting them both to call out sick. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm coughing. The wind's in my eyes. I'm going to do something interesting. But
we don't see the wind. We're so short. You see the wind. That's all you see. That's all you see. That
It is you that directs the wind down to us.
you know, Joel, I'd like to go to a concert with you sometime.
He's up above going,
Are you going to put them on your
I'm
shoulders
sharing
so you can
some
actually
with you
see?
guys.
Yeah, Joel, when you go, do you go to concerts?
I've been to a few.
Okay, do you enjoy it, or do you spend the whole time just breathing that rancid air that's 4 feet off the ground and just wishing you could see stuff?
I climb up on the backs of people like you to see. Actually, I just get there early, and so I'm up front, so no one's in front of me.
Cool.
James
cool.
and I, we were at the U2 concert in where I forget where we went, but we were absolutely.
We're not allowed to name it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
James, if you want to talk about where you live, you're welcome to. I don't even care. The mob are just going to come kill you. Just watch.
Nobody gives a crap about me.
Everyone, please send your love mail
Jeremiah
for
doesn't
James
need to tell people where he
Casual
lives. If he stands up, people can all see him. They're like, oh, he's over there. It's kind of like being
Everybody
in
can
Las
see him from the four corners of the earth.
He's like Las Vegas. If you've ever been to Las Vegas, anywhere you know where the strip is. There's no possible way you could ever get lost. You don't need directions. You oh, there it is, and you just drive right to it.
He hung the star on the new Freedom Tower.
We're gonna take a picture next to each other at some point, just so you can,
Oh, speaking of picture, I sent Debbie a photo
of the word picture
of when we were working on Norman. That one scene when you were using the blower, right, to blow dust around, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, so there was a shot that I photoshopped you and moved you up to about the same line where Dave was standing, right? Well, I sent it to Debbie. And I was like, "Isn't this hilarious?" And she's like, "I'm not sure what you're talking." She had no idea what was changed in the photo.
I was twice the size of a normal person.
He looked like a freaking giant. It was insane. And Debbie had no idea. She's like, "I don't know what's wrong here." Oh, it was funny.
What how many jockeys it would
we
take
laughed.
to match your stature?
I hate you all. All right, with that, guys, that's the podcast. You can always follow us at casualshenanigans, at Evil Viking, at JERMgaming, right into casualshenanigans@gmail.com. Thank you to everyone who rates and reviews us on iTunes. Thank you to everyone who downloads and listens to us. We've been doing this for 2 solid years now. We're going into our 3rd year of Casual Shenanigans Gaming, and as always, it is an absolute pleasure. What's this picture that Dave just posted? I've got to go.
It's one of you and Joel actually next to each other.
Yeah, but I'm actually standing downhill.
And I'm not sure why I have my guard down. I feel like I should have been aiming at you guys too.
Why am I holding 2 guns? What's even up with that?
Because this is America. You only had 2 hands. I mean, come on, it's all you could do. I guess there could be a tow gun maybe, but...
All right.
Jeremiah, you're standing in a hole in this picture, right?
I am actually standing downhill, but you can see the relationship
You're
between
standing
me
on
and
a
Dave.
rock troll.
See, Dave isn't
His
that
legs
much
are here
shorter
in the
than me.
image, but his feet are actually down here.
For all the teasing that Joel gives me, Dave is actually only a couple inches shorter than me. So,
Yeah.
I don't even want to hear about it. But,
But it's fun.
But in
Yeah, I know.
comparison, boy, do I look normal.
You finally feel normal when you're standing next to him.
And with that, that's the show. Thanks everybody for coming out. And as always,
Don't forget to slap your seals. That sounded really bad. Slap a seal, not your seal. Why do you have multiple seals?
We know where Joel's going to go to now.
all right, Joel, go slap
Please
the
turn the
seal. We'll
webcam
talk to you later. Bye everybody.
If Joel runs out of the room with that cardboard cutout, we'll know where he's going.